You are listening to They Must Be Destroyed on Sight. The following podcast contains adult language, adult situations, and spoilers for the movies discussed occur often. You've been warned. Now, take it away, Dr. Rausch.
They must be destroyed on sight.
Alright, we're back. It's an intermission. We haven't done one of those in a while. And it's me, and it's Paul. How you doing, Paul? How you been?
Your intermission master. Back again. Yeah. I'm doing good, sir. I'm doing good.
And I think the last few episodes we actually have done together have all been slasher films. So
absolutely, yep. We did Slayer and Superstition, I believe, the last ones.
It wasn't Slayer. It was Superstition and...
oh, yeah. It was Superstition and...
Final Terror.
Final Terror. The Final Terror. Yeah. Because we did Final Exam before that, too.
We've never done Final Exam.
Oh, we did?
Together.
Oh, I
no.
thought we did. The generic film.
I'm trying to remember. Is it Final Exam or is it Graduation Day? That's the one that's like the killer has like no explanation at all. It's just...
Oh, that's Final Exam.
Yeah. Okay.
He just shows up.
Yeah.
And it's so like every stereotypical thing needs to happen. No blood or gore is ever seen, and the film ends. But the thing is though, what people don't seem to get, like, I like the fact that he has there's nothing about him.
Same here, yeah. Yeah, no, I like he's got no motivation. Actually, I used to own the novelization of that. Oh. And even in the book, there was like basically no explanation for why he was there killing people. He was just doing it. Mm-hmm. And usually when you have like a novelization of a movie, it's an early version of the script. So even at the beginning, they had no ideas for this guy.
Just like, this guy just rolls into town. It's like something like The Night Brings Charlie, but with more chaos. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I always thought of it as kind of a Michael Myers thing, but even stripped down more, right?
Yeah, absolutely. They were taking the 78 and running with it. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That kind of, because, I mean, there is some, backstory of Michael, but there's still no explanation.
Yeah.
And like, this is a big guy. He comes in and starts killing people. And you know what? That's all I need.
Yep, that's all I need too, man. Yeah, we're doing some slashers here. We're going to be doing Blood Song from 1982, a.k.a. Dream Slayer. And we're also going to be looking at Mortuary from 83. So we might as well just get into fucking Blood Song, man. Directed by Alan J. Levy, and I didn't see anything else really in his resume that was striking. Like, most of his shit was TV. He did, I think, the Battlestar Galactica movie, but he was not credited for it in like 78 or something like that, and that was about it. But we have Donna Wilkes as Marion. We got Richard Jekyll as Father of the Year here, Frank Hauser.
I believe he was also in Mako, Jaws of Death, and that's actually a really good film.
He's been in a shit ton of stuff. Like, I didn't do the usual big background thing I do for like regular episodes on this, but there are some familiar names here. We get Antoinette Bauer as Bee, Dane Clark Smith as Sheriff Gibbons. Lenny Montana is Skipper. Lenny Montana is Luca Brasi from The Godfather. The big hitman that everyone fucking fears, but kind of gets killed like a bitch in The Godfather anyway. But this was actually his last role as an actor. Like, he retired after this, and he actually is one of the writers on this as well. So
Okay.
apparently Luca Brasi from the fucking Godfather, this was his passion project. Had to get it done or something like that. I don't know.
This is the last nail in the coffin, more like it.
Yeah. Well, he lived for quite a while afterwards too. He had a nice little retirement. So
he didn't do anything, but he lived. So that's good.
Yeah. Then we got Frankie Avalon, and
Yeah.
I've been seeing way too much of Frankie Avalon in the last little while because on the Blood on the Tracks podcast we have here with our little fucking network that we got going on. The last couple episodes I did the Beach Party films, so
Yes.
I've heard way more Frankie Avalon than I needed to ever hear.
Funicello and Frankie Avalon.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The fact that Frankie Avalon was in this film is the reason I bought it a long time ago, because I have it on a double disc with Mausoleum, and I'm kind of it wasn't cheap. I say that right now. It wasn't cheap.
Yeah, this is a really hard to get this fucking film at this point. Yeah, but Frankie Avalon, he was in another horror film. I'm trying to think of the fucking name of it right now. It was a British one where he's the American in it, and he ends up being the killer as well. Or no, he's actually not the killer in that one. He actually gets killed in that one. What the fuck was that called? I can't remember it. It's decent, but it
good.
But yeah, so him doing another one of these sort of roles, and here I think he's really good in this. We'll get into it.
Yeah, no, I actually really like him in this. Yeah.
And we got William Kirby Cullen as Joey, Noelle North as Kathy, and Jennifer Inscat as Judith. And we got a little synopsis here that I pulled, I think, from IMDb. Psychopath escapes from a mental institution and starts a murder spree, which ends up pursuing a young handicapped girl who once got a blood transfusion from him. And yeah, and then there's this like psychic link between them, right? Because of the blood transfusion. Mm-hmm. And we have these long shots of Donna Wilkes in her bed. The screen goes all fucking weird and like almost psychedelic in color or whatever, and she has like a vision of a murder that's going to happen or whatever the fuck, kind of thing. But so when did you first see this one, Paul?
Oh, this one was probably about 5 or 6 years ago.
Okay.
For me, that's when I bought that DVD for like $60 fucking bucks. It was pretty bad. I mean, when I was in the mood on eBay, I was in the mood. You know what I mean? Like, it was one of those kind of things. Like, oh fuck, boom, buy it, screw it. I bought that, and I bought a double disc of Vampire Hookers and Cemetery Girls. Both were garbage. So, again, very expensive.
I think I've seen Cemetery Girls, and that's not good.
Cemetery Girls is either Vampire Hookers or Cemetery Girls is a really bad one, but it's got John Carradine playing a vampire, so I'm always happy about it. Because John Carradine's amazing. Yeah.
Did John Carradine actually do anything, or was it just footage of him behind a desk?
Oh no, he was the big bad vampire.
Okay, good. Yeah. Because depending on the year, it's either John Carradine doing something, or it's John Carradine filming a bunch of footage for Fred Olin Ray behind a desk and then being plopped in movies for the next 20 years.
I have a John Carradine film called Evil in the Night. And that's later, way later, and it's really bad, but I love it. But it's him just standing there as a doctor going, "You're all idiots." It's pretty good. Yeah. No, but I bought this film quite a while ago, and I bought it for the sole reason: one, I couldn't find it anywhere, and two, so I was like, "Well, it's fucking rare, I'll buy it." And then two, I was like, "Frankie Avalon's a killer." This film reminds me of now. Just throw me a bone here. Okay. This reminds me of Once Upon a Time in the West. Kind of. You got that one guy playing the
harmonica. Charles Bronson,
Charles Bronson. But you have Frankie Avalon playing that one tone all the time. So it kind of sets you up. But then you also have the Henry Fonda character going, "Oh my God, it's fucking Frankie Avalon being a bad guy." Like, what the fuck's going on? Like. So, and I said, throw me a bone, but it still, to me, has that same kind of thing going on.
I get that. Yeah. This one is actually first time watch for me, but I've known about this for quite a while, so it's one I wanted to...
it's really weird. It just it's dated.
Mm-hmm.
It's a dated film, but I love the datedness of the film. Like everyone just drives around in big vans and picks up hitchhikers for no reason.
Yeah, I mean, it's early '80s, so that sort of thing was still there, and I mean, I think it. Even though I was watching a shitty copy on YouTube of this, basically is what I was watching, still looked pretty good.
No, yeah, it's a little, yeah. I know which one you're talking about on YouTube. The audio's a little shit.
Yeah,
but yeah,
and I mean, I like a lot about this actually. The thing about this is this strikes me as one of those ones like Madman, where it's not necessarily like the most deep, best written like slasher film out there, but it's got neat little nuances to it that kind of stick with you. Like Frankie Avalon with that fucking flute. It's the stupidest looking flute too. It's like this fucking bullshit thing.
It's almost like an ocarina. It's more like an ocarina than a flute.
Yeah. It looks like it looks like something his dad did in wood shop when he was a teenager, and he, hey, here, take this piece of shit, you little bastard.
This is a classic example of women don't have sex with other men in your own house, or you'll get shot.
This is literally the setup almost for every, like, not every, but like 60% of slasher movies in the early 80s.
Yeah.
Like from everything from Christmas.
It's either the guy cheating or the mom cheating, and then one of them has to go crazy, and then the kid is affected by it.
Yeah, the kid walks in and catches them, and either the kid, witnesses like horrific murder, or the kid murders them right there on the spot.
Yeah. I just picked up another one from 1981 called Nightmare, and that's a dirty film. I like it. It's a dirty, nasty, horrible, probably really shit kind of, but I love it. It's really nice. And the guy, he takes the hooker's head clean off. Like the dad's tied up on the bed and the hooker's doing things, and he just takes an axe, woof, woof, right off. And the blood, and I love that the hands come up, and there's no head there. And did we
not cover that one?
I think we did cover. I think we did from 1981, and I love it. I mean, it's nasty, dirty. I can't believe the amount of bush that's in it and stuff. Like it's just nasty, dirty. But it's the same utter setup: cheating, depravity, this and that. Kid gets affected. Now we have a slasher film. I mean, how many? I mean, because going on to the episode we're going to do after this, little run through. I consider giallos another version of slashers. Unless it gets really, really whodunit murder mystery, like there's a line.
I'm glad you said that because I forgot to message you and say put giallos on your list if you feel like you need them on your list, because I totally consider them slasher films. So yeah,
absolutely. I think the only one that I didn't put on my list, and I'll just say it right now because it's not fucking on there, and I screwed up, is Torso. And I mean, I love that damn film, but I fucking forgot to put it on there because I'm
well, spoilers, I got you covered.
That's who you are.
Yeah.
Okay, but no, this Blood Song is good. I like. However, I will say, boy, that girl's got a lot of pluck to talk to her dad like that. But it's warranted. It's
warranted because he's the worst dad ever.
Yeah, I know. It's so funny because it's not he actually doesn't want to be a douchebag, but he can't back down after he's got confronted.
That's the thing. Yeah, he's just the ultimate asshole, can't admit when he's wrong. Yeah. So the backstory of this, and this is where half the movie is ABC TV drama kind of thing almost. It kind of feels like at times that movie's happening, and then on the side is Frankie Avalon doing a road trip movie where he murders people, and then they come together at the end, right? But yeah, so Richard Jekyll as the father here. Sometime in the past, he's basically an alcoholic. He's blue collar dude, drinks too much, and he was driving in his truck or whatever with his daughter, and had an accident, and then her leg got shattered and has been in a brace for years, and she's just recovered. She's just about to get that brace off and be able to walk like a normal person again or whatever. And every time he comes in, his wife she's stuck with him, I guess. Like, maybe they're too Catholic and they can't get a divorce. Who knows? Whatever.
There's so many people like that out there.
Yeah. So she just like tolerates him. He comes downstairs at breakfast time. She's making breakfast for the daughter, and he's like, "Am I going to get any fucking breakfast here?" And it's like, "What? Fuck you! I'm making it for my daughter. She got to go to school. She's going to graduate. She's actually going to do something with her life, unlike you, you piece of shit." I knew you talk to me like that. And also, daughter, why are you hanging out with that fisherman kid who's like always going out and fucking on boats and shit and coming back?
I love how I can't remember, but there's a good chance anyway. Look at slashers and see how many of them. Like, just look at the horror movies and slashers and see how many have the word Paul in it. How many fucking Pauls there are in fucking slasher films.
Oh man.
So I think she was even dating a Paul. That fucking piece of shit asshole. And don't believe me, Pauls are all pieces of shit. I'm a loser. But there you go.
Well, no. Frankie Avalon is the Paul in this movie.
There's a Paul in everything. There's a Paul somewhere. Yeah.
I think Joey or something is the dude that Marion's...
No one likes the Joey. Come on.
No, Joey's just kind of here. He's just kind of the love interest or whatever. Like, it actually makes no sense, but...
It is nice. I've actually been in Portland, Oregon, where this thing is supposed to be set. So, it's like, hey, I've been there. That's pretty cool. The film's pretty good. She has a plucky little attitude to it. I feel that the blood transfusion is a little bit of a stretch to have this kind of blood song, telekinesis bullshit. I mean, and if you look at it like, your body regenerates cells every 7 years. So, I mean, like, that would already probably been gone anyway.
Yeah.
We're not talking about science right now. We're talking about horror.
I mean, they're just a step away from doing like body parts from like whatever 91 or 90 or whatever. Where then like I always liked that idea of like, oh, you've gotten like a transplant from a dead killer and all of a sudden now you're starting to kill. But that's not this movie. She's not starting to kill. She's just connected.
She's seeing it. Yeah. It's kind of like the Mark Hamill. What was it? With the eye of the killer when he stabs his eye out.
Oh, from Body Bags.
Yeah, Body Bags, and he stabs his eye out.
Yeah,
that was a fucking hell of a scene too. But
that one where that movie, that anthology film where John Carpenter did not need any makeup to play a dead dude.
He didn't actually wear any makeup in that film, which is, I think, that is the biggest joke of the whole deal. It's good. It's that psychic link. The guy escapes prison because he's impaled. I don't know if it's because she just hit 16. I don't know if he thought she was going to go to a beach party. I don't know what he thought, but something propelled him to get out of that mental institution and find her. But that wasn't explained.
Yeah, it seems random. Like, it doesn't feel like he necessarily knows. Like, it's not until he's burying the body of the hitchhiker he picked up, and she conveniently walks in on it, like, and before that she's walking on the beach and there's this like really terrible ballad for some reason, and who knows what the fuck's going on. All of a sudden she just turns a corner and there's Frankie Avalon burying like parts of a dead girl, and it's like, well, shit, things have just escalated a little bit.
Here the thing is, Portland 2020, that's normal.
Yeah, that's happening now, right? I mean, fuck.
Yeah, exactly. You're good there.
But
I still never caught mine.
So things I like about this, so like the things I really like about this is that like the gore escalates. Like the first couple kills that Avalon does, not too gory, but once he finally gets to Richard Jekyll and like he chops that motherfucker up.
God. And the dad is fighting to save his kid. He says run, like he loves his daughter no matter what.
Yep.
Even though he was a douchebag, because he just won't admit he was, and she still loves the daddy. Like she still loves her dad.
There's a nice little,
because she's just as stubborn as he is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like and there's that little moment, and then she gets the gimp run, and I'm just like falling in love with the gimp run. Like I was just like, oh, just come over here and let me snuggle up. But after that, I really love the film. After Jekyll gets killed, and that escalates, and I just love it more and more and more and more.
No, the cat and mouse thing in the warehouse, and then like the forklift scene, all that stuff's great. Like Frankie Avalon gets behind a forklift and like tries to kill her with it. It's like
the scene where Frankie actually gets hurt, and he's like, he
Mhm.
stops, and he's like, "You hurt me, like you real like," because he's still like a kid, I guess, in his head.
Yeah.
He's not understanding things. Like he's doing this, and like he keeps on killing. Come on, pretty lady. Come on, girl. Like pretty girl and stuff. Like
He
it's
says-
really creepy, but cute and weird.
It's very creepy. He says weird
Yeah.
stuff, like
Yeah.
he's got her pinned on like a pile of lumber or whatever that he's trying to raise up with the forklift. He's like, "I really like you, Marion. I really like
Yeah.
you." It's like,
Yeah.
get the fuck away from me.
Yeah, and the thing is, she's actually on top of that skid of lumber when he's lifting it with the forklift. That is so fucking dangerous. That would never.
Oh yeah,
happen.
they weren't paid for stunt people in this movie.
No, that would never happen. I was just laughing like, "Yo, hey, yo, get off that thing!" The security guard. He
Yeah.
goes, smack.
Smack.
I was like, I love the fact that you've been in an institution your whole life, but you know how to just use a forklift without a fucking trainer.
And yeah, and then it almost kind of feels like this ending is kind of like the ending to Maniac Cop in a way, because like he takes the forklift through the wall and out off the pier into the water,
Yep.
where Maniac Cop takes the fucking van or whatever
van
into
off,
the
yeah.
water kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, I think my favorite moment as far as like where this gets super serious is the hitchhiker he picks up, the way he kills her, where he just strangles her, and like it's not the bullshit strangulation where the killer grabs her neck and she's dead 3 seconds
No.
later. Like it lingers
Exactly.
on him strangling her to death.
Right.
And I thought I was like, okay.
No, absolutely. Like, yeah, but that's the thing is we just watched the film called Don't Go Near the Park. We just did a review on that tonight. We'll be posting it tomorrow sometime. But they did this rope around the neck, like literally 2 seconds later, the girl's dead. I'm like, oh, that's not how that works.
Yeah,
like, it's just not, and you're done. No, this is a long, drawn-out process, guys. Okay, there's gonna be kicking and screaming and spitting and cursing. So
unless you like broke the person's neck with that initial tightening of the wire or whatever. No, not happening. But
I definitely like the film. I really actually was. Blood Song to me is one of those happy accidents where you go, I'll buy this. This is gonna suck. Hey, it didn't suck. Like
it makes me want to watch that. I can't remember the name of it right now, but it's one of those It's one of those ones where it's just a weirdo combination of things, like Frankie Avalon of all people in the fucking serial killer slasher movie. There's another one out there with Tiny Tim. I don't know if it was ever
Blood Harvest.
Blood Harvest. There we go.
Yes,
I want to see that. Yeah,
good stuff. Yep, Blood Harvest is good times. I have that too somewhere.
Right on.
Yeah, same thing with Mako Jaws of Death with Jekyll. I put this thing in thinking it's going to be another fucking killer shark movie. I had this thing where I went on eBay and I got killer the Great White, the Last Shark, Demon of Paradise. I mean, I bought them all at the same time, and I put in Mako Jaws of Death, and it's nothing like you'd think it was. So it was really enjoyable. Yeah, and Blood Song again, boom, right out of the bat. Like, okay, this is darker than I thought it would be.
Yeah, no, I liked it. I recommend it. Like, people, if you've not seen it, it's a nice little weird slasher film that you might really enjoy.
Should we do spoilers? Are there spoilers involved?
Oh yeah, spoil it if you want. Yeah, go ahead.
I love the fact that the bad guy wins.
Or does he? Does he win? Or is that just?
Not?
Or is she just like fucking nuts on the fucking?
Or what? Was he a figment of her imagination the whole time?
Oh well,
that's.
I mean, if this movie had a little bit more money, you could get to the point where at the end where she did all the killings, maybe, or something like that.
Yeah,
but
I don't know what you're talking about. There was no guy. She killed them all. And like a security camera watching her fucking just run the thing guy right into the like, oh shit.
And then you can just go, like fucking high tension, you fucking hack, like well, high tension's hot garbage. But,
yep. Thank you.
Yeah,
everyone else is so good. No.
I participated in the podcast Under the Stairs, fucking best horror movies of the 2000s.
Oh my god, there's like 3.
That was my lowest on my list of 20 best. Was High Tension out of the picks.
Dog
that
Soldier's probably not my number 1.
Dog Soldiers was fairly high up. Actually, Dog Soldiers got knocked off the fucking list, actually, which is just bullshit.
I'll cut his throat. Who is it? But I would say like God, what the fuck is it called? Wrong Turn. I saw that twice in the theater because I liked it so much.
Mm-hmm.
And Dog Soldiers, which probably be my pretty goddamn good. And actually, The Cottage from 2009.
Oh yeah, The Cottage.
Is actually pretty fucking good. Surprisingly.
Yeah, I like The Cottage. Yeah, on that list, like my top horror films were The Mist, Wreck.
I'll give you The Mist has a laugh out loud ending. I love it. I laugh my ass off so much. Oh, it's so funny. Other than that, it's shit.
But we'll move on now, and we'll go to Mortuary from 1983.
Oh. Bill
and
Paxton.
yeah, and this is directed by Howard Avedis, who he did a bunch of well, not a bunch, but a couple of Crown International like sort of exploitation pictures. He did The Teacher from 1974 and The Stepmother from 1972, which were like a little bit of sex, a little bit of crime kind of thing. Not as hardcore as some stuff during that time, because Crown International was kind of like a little lightweight on that kind of stuff. But he did do They're Playing with Fire from 1984 with what's her face? Sturva the werewolf bitch.
Sybil Danning.
Sybil Danning, yes, thank you.
Sybil Danning. Yum.
She gets super naked in that one too, and then at the end of that movie, like at first it's the hot chick seduces dude kind of picture, and then at the end it turns into like a fucking slasher film kind of thing.
Okay, yeah. Two people that are, well, I guess say 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. You get Sybil Danning, Linnea Quigley, Michelle Bauer, and Stevie Brinks, and even Barbara Crampton. They're all getting fucking naked at some point in time.
Yeah.
That's when they got hired.
I mean, that was how they hired women in the 80s. Yeah, for those movies, it's like, are you willing to get naked? Okay, you're in our movie. That's
but at the same time, those 5 people were great choices to do those, because they were also good actors, and they're
also excellent actresses.
Exactly.
I mean, and that's why they're all. I think all of them are still working at this point.
No, they all are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we got Mary Beth McDonough is Christy Parson, and we also have her body double. I don't know who the fuck that was, but and she was in. She must have been in the Waltons or something as well. I know she was in some sort of like family friendly fucking TV show, and this was her like I'm gonna do a horror movie and be scandalous, although I'm not gonna show my boobs.
I was gonna say that don't use a body double. Like,
Yeah.
come on now.
We have David Wojciechowski as Greg Stevens, Bill Paxton, some dude,
As
Paul Andrews.
hey,
There we go. There was a connection.
Telling you, there's
Holy
balls
shit.
everywhere.
Two Paul Killers, yeah. Linda Day George, who was married at this time to Christopher George.
Yes.
She's a Eve Parson, and Christopher George is Hank Andrews. And they were in Pieces together as well.
Yes, absolutely. I love Pieces. However, this film was filmed in 1981 and was only released in 83. So he actually did Pieces after this, I do believe. But this got released after. So this was technically his last starring role.
Yep.
But because of, it was filmed in 81. But Christopher George is just tops. Absolutely tops.
Love Christopher George. He's great. Kurt Ayers is Jim, Bill Conklin as Sheriff Duncan, and Donna Garrett as Miss Andrews. And
Shout out Duncan.
And we got a synopsis here. Christy Parson has been having terrifying nightmares ever since her father drowned in a swimming pool. Well, he was kind of bludgeoned to death and thrown in a swimming pool more than anything else. Christy's mother believes this was a tragic accident, but Christy believes she was murdered. Then her boyfriend Greg Stevens sees a sinister hooded figure in the town's mortuary, the same figure that was following and harassing Christy. Greg and Christy's curiosity plungers them into a series of bizarre and terrible circumstances at the mortuary, a dark and ghastly place managed by Hank Andrews and his son Paul. Christy will soon discover the ghastly truth behind her father's death, and everyone else will discover it like in the first 5 minutes. But in doing so, she may not live to see the morning. Okay, yeah. So, when was the first time you saw this one, Paul?
Oh, actually, I saw this one years ago, and I kept on getting it fucked up with other films.
Mausoleum.
Funeral Home.
Yes.
Dead and Buried.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing it's the trailer that fucked me up every time. Because before you get the last shovel of earth put on you, make sure that you're actually dead. No, they're not burying anybody in this fucking thing.
No.
Not doing it. I kept I was like, I have this film. It's Funeral Home, and I watched Funeral Home. I'm like, this isn't the right film. This ain't the right film.
Have you seen the trailer they put out that had Michael Berryman in it, and he's not in this fucking film?
No.
There is a trailer. I don't know if it's an earlier or a later one.
You mean the one that's like a zombie film almost trailer?
I think that's the one actually.
You know
maybe
what? We should just make that film. We just do that.
Yeah,
that might be better. I don't know. Yeah, that's what I said. Like I even have a poster somewhere, a mini poster of Mausoleum or Mortuary, and it's in a book, and it has that last thing, make sure you're not dead, you're actually dead and buried. I'm like, this is nothing like this fucking film.
No.
You know what I mean?
No, they lied to
They actually came out later and called it something else too, like it bombed or something like that too.
Did they? Maybe.
Yeah, I think they re-released it later with a different title. Not A Bomber. That's from '66. That's actually a pretty good old slasher for an old slasher.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, but it makes more sense, the embalmer, because they're embalming people. They're aspirating them. They're not burying them.
This is very obviously like. So as soon as the slasher boom happened in 80, 81, everyone started making them, right? But at that point, it was independent companies making them. Studios were not necessarily making them, but the big studios started picking them up. But a lot of these things got shelved for a long time. And then by the time you get to about 83, 84, when it's starting to die down, the studios are like, hey, these slasher films are pretty cool. Maybe we should try to wring some money out of them. And then they start buying up anything that's available, right? So
look what happened to Final Terror.
Yeah.
It was released 5 years afterwards or something like that because of that.
Yeah,
Same thing.
So obviously, some, I didn't write down the studio, but whoever picked them up basically is like, we'll release this, we'll make up a bullshit poster that makes it look like a fucking zombie film or some bullshit like that. We'll give you misleading fucking taglines. We'll structure the trailer in a way with Michael Berryman, who's not even in the film.
I would really like to see Michael Berryman in the fucking. I met Michael Berryman. He's a wonderful guy.
Mm-hmm.
I have his autograph upstairs. He's a fucking great guy. I would be great to see this film.
But yeah, none of that's in this. This was a major disappointment when I said, like, this is the first time watch for me as well, and I was just like, oh my god, this is.
Oh, okay.
So there are things I like in this. Don't get me wrong.
No, there's a lot of good stuff.
But I mean, watching this,
the script is a little convoluted.
The script feels like it was written on the fly as they were filming, because there's no real mystery in this. Like, the whole central thing is that it's supposed to be a mystery that our central heroine is like trying to unravel. Mm-hmm. And if you're watching the film, you've unraveled the mystery within like the first 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah.
The first time you see Bill Paxton in the makeup, it's like, oh, that's Bill Paxton.
Yeah,
hey, how you doing, buddy?
It doesn't cover his face at all. It's right there.
Yeah, they don't put a mask on him, right? Like, at least, in Scream, which he resembles a lot, like the Ghostface killer in Scream, basically. Right. At least he's wearing a fucking mask. You know who the fuck it is. This is Bill Paxton.
They go in there right at the beginning of the film with Jake and fucking Greg or whatever, mm-hmm. and they see this giant fucking thing going on, and then Jake gets killed because of it. But it's like, they all saw that. Like, this isn't a mystery. Like, and we saw mm-hmm. everybody involved. It's like it's watching. It's basically like watching Hot Fuzz, but at the beginning of Hot Fuzz, they go, "We're all part of this murdering thing. Okay, now figure out who we are." I already what?
And there's not even like this. Like, the movie tried to play it up that there's like this cult of Satanists or some shit. That's not even this. The Christopher George. He's just like a fucking dude who basically does like seances. Just really theatrical seances for people. He's not even evil. He's a nice dude. He's strict, but he's a nice dude.
He's very strict, but he's not. There's nothing wrong with him. Like, and he tries to even get Paul back into the thing. Like, hey, we need to get help, buddy. Okay.
Yeah.
It's all right. Like, he's trying to help Paul, even though he knows he's wacko. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing bad about him.
I mean, we get was it like halfway through the film? And then, like, they kind of, I think they kind of realizes, like, everyone knows what the story is already, except for our central character. So then they have Linda Day George say, oh no, Paul, by the way, you don't know this, but he came up to your father and, like, was, like, asked to take your hand in marriage, and he's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
and he might be dangerous.
I remember when I first watched the baseball bat scene at the beginning,
mm-hmm.
and I watched it, and it was like a little tink on the shoulder, and I was like, well, that's not going to do anything. And then they fucking smack him in the face, and I was like, oh, that did something.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh shit. Like, it was one of those moments. I was like, okay, there you go.
Speaking of weapons, though, this is one thing I do really like from this. I like the killer's weapon, but it's also the biggest giveaway as to who the killer is. Yeah. I think it's called like officially it's called like a trocar or something like that, where it's like. Yeah. Where it's a thing you stick into a vein, and then it's got like a tube on the back, and it pumps the blood out around.
And it pumps blood down into there and washes them out. And then they put the embalming fluid in after it pre-cleans the blood veins. Yeah, but at the same time, who's doing the embalming the whole fucking movie? Paul.
Yeah.
So, like, who else could it be? You know what I mean?
And like, the movie throws in little details in here and there that like you kind of miss, like how his mother's apparently dead, and he mentions
his mother went to an insane asylum because she was going to kill herself. Then they faked her death, and now she's okay. Now I feel for Paul. As mm-hmm. being a Paul, we're fuck ups and we're not socially acceptable. And I'll tell you what, I have tried to swoon the lady figures, with a mm-hmm. night of being creepy and listening to Mozart, and it doesn't work.
He's got. So, yeah, he's like, hey, there, Christy, or whatever the fuck your name is. You want to come over to my place and listen to my new Mozart record I got? Although, if you notice, you look in the stack there, he's also got a Doors album in the stack of records.
He's a pretty smooth individual, you know?
He's like, he'll start with a Mozart, give her a couple of fucking joints, and then throw in the Morrison Hotel, or maybe it's Waiting for the Sun. I can't remember which one it was.
Now we got some Riders on the Storm, and shit's going down, and now you got all the babies. You got the babies running around inside you, baby. That's right.
His game potentially is pretty smooth. It's just
at the same time, when you hear half the people go, "What the hell's a Mozart?" You know what? You deserve to die.
Yeah, but that doesn't fucking happen. That's another thing I hate about this film. So our central two characters, they have this group of like three friends who are chuckleheads, and in any other slasher movie, they end up in a situation where they get murdered. In this movie, you see them twice, and they never get murdered.
It's weird though. Greg and Paul almost have like a half and half, like, hanging out, talking, pretty okay conversations now. Mm-hmm. He's like, I don't even like doing this fucking job. Why do you do it? My dad, that kind of thing. Like, Paul has this weird likable side to him, but at the same time, then you go, and Pauls are like that. So watch out. I get it, but I like the film. I just think it's a little bit too big for its britches. Like, what the fuck is Christy doing? Waking up out of a nightmare, wandering around a house, getting into a swimming pool in your... what the fuck is this woman doing? And then Paul comes out with the fuck... Oh, now you're afraid. You weren't drowning like 5 seconds ago in a swimming pool in your nightgown. But when Paul comes out of the fucking shadows, now you're screaming and running.
Well, she's supposed to be, like, afflicted with, like, sleepwalking and shit like that.
Sleepwalking. I can't remember the term for that. But, like, you were drowning, and you were okay with it. There's no sleep swimming. Sleep swimming isn't a thing. So there's a lot of plot points and things that I just really do think this film lacks. Believe me, the fucking train wreck that I just got done watching before I came on this podcast, holy shit, I understand. But... this one definitely has a little plot hole going on. The overall acting is really good. Linda Day George is great. Christopher George is great. Bill Paxton with that southern drawl that he's trying to hide the whole time is fantastic. Yeah,
he's so Texas in that.
He's really trying to hide it bad. I will say the moment where Bill Paxton actually kills Linda is a little bit of a masturbation moment.
Oh yeah, no, he's getting off. Like they linger on him basically, like just like coming in his pants.
Yeah, and it's going up and down and in and around, and then I'm like, oh, that is just dirty.
I mean, honestly, they have too many shots of that fake torso being stabbed to the point where it's like, okay, this is a fake torso.
Yeah, okay, I get it. Let's go. Let's move on here, guys. But wait, there's that cum face again.
Yeah,
but overall, it's pretty good. I really do enjoy Paul's overture at the end with his I don't know what it was. Maybe you can explain this to me. What the fuck was it with the early 80s films and surrounding yourself with dead bodies? Fucking film from 79 to 70, from 79 to 83 surrounded themselves with corpses.
I feel like they're all just like they're taking Halloween and they're going a little step further, kind of thing. Like, I mean, even like
79 don't go into the house. He surrounded himself with all the corpses too. Like, it's just like this thing that you do, I guess.
Because in Halloween, like, Jamie Lee Curtis walks through the house or whatever, and she runs into all the bodies, right?
Exactly.
Michael Myers has got them all set up as in different places, but then don't go into the house. They're all just there. You got this. They're all just there, and there's like plenty of other films that do that. Trying to think of them off the top of my head, but I mean,
Maniac.
You're right. Like Maniac.
Maniac.
That doesn't.
Don't go near the park has it in 79. Deranged has it. Deranged has it too. And it's just like, it's insane. But I like his little moment in the sun, and he made a fucking cake. The man made a beautiful cake.
Yeah.
Like, and all this going on.
Even as a fucking line earlier, where it's like, doing the embalming stuff is like, it's like baking a good cake. It's like, you got to do this and you got to do that. And in the end, he knows how to make a cake too.
You got to put love in it. Now, the other thing I will say, the end is a little shallow for me because when Christy hits him with that axe in the back, it's literally just a tink.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no swing, there's no emotion. There is. I kind of hate the whole thing. She gets up without emotion. She walks over without emotion. She picks up the axe without emotion. She swings the axe without emotion. And Bill Paxton just crumbles like a sack of shit.
Yeah, she's supposed to be like waking up from whatever drugs Bill Paxton gave her, right?
Yeah, but at the same time, then, like, I would have been like, "Fuck, dude, you hit me with an axe." Like, I got hit with shit. Like, it's like,
yeah, no, Bill Paxton just drops, like he's just dead.
Yeah, like he drops, like she did that one of like that running swing thing.
Mm-hmm.
That just like one of those kind of things.
I mean, if you cut right down Bill Paxton's shoulder, and like his arm is hanging down to his fucking hip or some shit like that, he might have bled out quick enough to die like that quick, right? But no, she hunks the axe into like the meat of his shoulder. Ain't gonna kill you necessarily right away. Yeah.
But I did like the crossover or the tie up. You found the casket with the gun in it, and then again at the end you find the casket with the gun in it, but it's got blanks, you idiot.
There's like some sort of like side plot that's never really fleshed out. That Bill Paxton's
like they're doing like cabaret, like some kind of stage show. With stuff that never got actually talked about. Like
Bill Paxton and his dad are like part of a theater troupe or something. Maybe that's why they got all the robes for the seances.
That's exactly what I thought all this time. It's like, well, they must have like some kind of theater, cabaret thing going on that no one's talking about.
Yeah.
I thought it was a little convoluted. Like, again, this script has a lot of holes in it.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit already cohesively. It's not a cohesive system. But overall, one thing I will say, too, before I get too rambly-dambly, which I already probably did, I really like the score.
Yeah, no, it's good. It has a
very unique but visceral kind of sound to the score.
Yeah, did I write down who fucking did that? No, I didn't. I should have.
His name was Bob the Builder.
But the guy who did it, like it's mostly kind of like a synth based kind of score, but he's got little string parts to it.
Yeah,
that
he has the timpani that comes in. It kind of really, it's really shocking. It's raw. I love the synth though. It's not stereotypical synth.
Doesn't sound cheap. It sounds like he actually put some work into it.
No, it's really nice. It reminds me of the shit that I like to do on synthesizer when I build like scores and do things for my my albums and stuff. I fucking like this stuff. And then all of a sudden he gets like is coming in. I was like, well, that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And the string stuff first reminded me of like Bruno Nicolai's stuff he did for Jess Franco's Dracula.
Oh yeah.
It was kind of reminded me of like that sort of like those little
mustachio Dracula.
Yeah, I think it was like mandolin or something like that, sort of stings in it and shit. But yeah,
it's pretty good.
No, yeah. So I didn't like this one all that much, but there were good things, and I mean get to see an early Bill Paxton.
The audio is great. The score is good. The camera quality is very good. It's definitely an easy watching film.
It's a well shot film. It is.
The actors are really good. I don't care if the script is kind of shit. I don't care if the storyline is kind of shit. The people that are involved are doing a great job. It's nice to see young Bill Paxton. Bill Paxton, to me, if you really look at the horror sci-fi genre, he's kind of hit all the boxes.
He did a couple other slashers like this around the same year, I think.
Did he?
Yeah, I didn't look them up, but like I think there was another one that was released to theaters, and I think one of them might have been a TV movie slasher of some sort. But he did do a couple more. This was right before he became like in with James Cameron and then like appeared in like every James Cameron film.
He was a slasher, hardcore slasher in this one. He did a good job. He was killed by an alien. He was killed by a Terminator. He was killed by a Predator, and he fought a tornado with Helen Hunt all cracked out. So, I mean, like, what else can you say, cows? That's all you can say. That's it. I actually like the film. It's not on my top list. Okay, it's I didn't put either of the films we're talking about on this because we're talking about them right now. But on the second episode, I will say both of them are not on my top list. But they are definitely on that kind of like, honorable mention thing. Very good films. And they're very fun films to watch. And if you are like me, and I'm sure you're the same way, Lee, you want to hit every box on that train of where things came from, what year. You want to get these under your belt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You want to click those notches off, And this is definitely something you should watch.
Yeah, I agree with that. Definitely, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Paul, tell people where they can find you on the interwebs.
You can find me on PA Brew News on YouTube and on the Twitters. You can find me at Oil Paintings by P. Rameli with a bunch of hashtags in it on Twitter, or Instagram rather. You can find me without the underscores on Facebook. Also, check me out on the Maniacs Meet podcast, 2 different things on Instagram and also on Facebook as well. And we do our Maniacs Meet podcast on the PA Brew News page on YouTube.
Yeah. And I'll throw the links in the show notes. And you can find, of course, the rest of this shit at TMBDOS.podbean.com, where you can find all of our different podcasts, the regular podcasts, the fucking bullshit radio shows I do, and all that other crap. And, yeah, there we go.
And as the great, great Dr. Roush says, they must be destroyed on sight.
Exactly.
A movie podcast.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to They Must Be Destroyed on Sight. For further episodes, our Apple Podcasts, Facebook, and YouTube links, please go to tmbdos.podbean.com. Thank you. Drive through.